Hi, thanks for clicking my Facebook link. I was just thinking back on our time in high school, and I realized that you would be perfect for this new business I'm involved with. Don't click away, there's nothing shady about this. I used to be like you. I used to live paycheck to paycheck. I used to split the flavor packets in my ramen in half to make them last longer. Now, I use the whole packet. I'm my own boss. I make my own hours. I work from home, which gives me plenty of time with the kiddos. So how would you like to join this amazing journey with me? This video was brought to you by Skillshare. You've been hearing about MLMs a lot recently. They've been around for over 100 years. The company that would eventually become Avon was founded in 1886 and is still the second largest MLM. But there was a big explosion of them after World War II. At the same time that new religions were being founded, old ones were being rekindled, and alternative and Eastern medicine were becoming popular, direct network marketing companies took off. And thanks to social media, we're seeing a surge of new MLMs. The r/anti-MLM subreddit keeps a running list of all current and past MLMs. It's worth scrolling through just to see how many of them there really are. But in the last 2 or 3 years, a few of the larger MLMs have gotten into legal trouble with the Federal Trade Commission, causing several of them to shut down or restructure. So it's worth taking a moment to examine what these companies do, how they work, and why people fall for them. And wait, aren't pyramid schemes illegal? Look, we all eat, and sometimes we eat less than we make. What are you gonna do, throw the rest out? Nah, save it for later with betterware. It's a plastic container with a lid you'll probably lose. Put it in the fridge, put it in the microwave, put it in the dishwasher. You know how this works. But you see, this isn't your run-of-the-mill crapperware. This is a serious fiber-woven bowl. Now, I'm a fairly strong guy, so let's see if I can... So, how does the dealio sound to you? MLM stands for multi-level marketing, sometimes referred to as network marketing or chain referral scheme, which right away makes it sound like a pyramid scheme. The Ponzi scheme is probably the most well-known variation of the pyramid and was made somewhat recently famous by Bernie Madoff and BitConnect. The way it works is that you start with a founder who convinces a few people to invest in some fantasy venture or company. When one of those people calls asking for their return on their investment, the founder recruits more people and uses that money to pay the original investor. This continues until the founder is eventually caught, but as you can see, the money always stays within the pyramid and it's not on the recruits to recruit more. The only person who knows about the pyramid is the founder. Ponzi schemes are obviously illegal, but MLMs still exist, so let's take a look at how they work. It's important to note that they all work a little differently, but in general, you have a founder who recruits a few people to sell a product. So far, so good. Sounds like a regular business to me. But there's a catch. You make more money recruiting than selling. So these people recruit a few people who recruit a few people who then, you get the idea. This is referred to as your downline, while the person who recruited you is your upline. I personally think this looks more like a family tree than a pyramid, and I'll explain why later, but this is a pyramid scheme. In fact, both of these are pyramid schemes. And while Ponzi schemes are always illegal, things get hazy when we look at MLMs, which allow people to say stuff like this.
It's not an illegal pyramid scheme, it's a direct selling network marketing company.
Is it shaped like a pyramid, the business structure?
It is shaped like a pyramid, yes.
But you're saying it's not an illegal pyramid scheme?
It's not an illegal pyramid scheme.
Running a company with a pyramid shape isn't in itself illegal. There are legal pyramid schemes. In general, MLMs make money in 2 ways. Through the direct sale of product to outside customers, and through the recruitment of more members. The balance between these 2 revenue streams is what determines the legality of the pyramid scheme. Some MLMs make most of their money through direct sales, like Tupperware, making it legal. Tupperware was the first MLM I ever learned about while living on a military base almost 30 years ago. Another thing we'll get to in a bit. I didn't know this until making this video, but they still throw Tupperware parties, and it's their primary source of revenue. Who throws Tupperware parties anymore? While they do still recruit consultants and receive a cut of their downline, most of Tupperware's income still comes from outside sales. Totally fine. But when this balance is reversed and a company is making more money from its members, it becomes illegal. And according to the FTC, the legal ratio is 80-20. A company must receive at least 80% of its revenue through sales and not recruitment. Most MLMs that currently exist do not follow the 80-20 rule. And the only way to find that out is to pressure the FTC to investigate. You've heard the saying, it's only illegal if you get caught. So while every MLM is a pyramid scheme, not every pyramid scheme is illegal. You have to look at each one individually. Hey girls, it's fall. It's back to school season and time to update that wardrobe. So you know what that means. Sales! And if you're anything like me, it isn't fall fashion without leggings. That's right, I'll be showing off the best LOL You Know leggings tonight on Facebook Live. So get your wine and wallets ready, ladies, because if you share this video, and I'm not supposed to do this, free shipping on all items. Hashtag bossbabe. Lularoe is a women's clothing company started in 2012 by Deanne and Mark Stidham. Their name is a combination of their grandkids, Lucy, Lola, and Monroe. They became famous for their buttery soft leggings and experienced explosive growth in 2016, which is also when everything started to fall apart. Lularoe, like most MLMs, specifically targeted women, and even more specifically, stay-at-home moms. It has to do with the post-World War II economic boom. Remember, women weren't always allowed to have a job and make money outside of the house. So for many of them, selling makeup or Tupperware or leggings was their only option. A lot of their recruitment pitches use feminist empowerment language. For many of these women, MLMs offer a social outlet and a feeling of community that they might not get otherwise, especially military wives, another favorite of Lularoe. Other MLMs have their own targets, but typically it's moms, military, minorities, college students, and Mormons, which might sound weird until you think about it. Imagine a group of people with deep community connections and built-in door-to-door sales experience. Lularoe fashion consultants typically sell during Facebook Live sessions lasting anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. I watched more of this than I care to admit. These days, they typically average 1 or 2 sales per hour, and customers buy stuff by typing "sold" plus the item number in the chat. After the live stream, the consultant will contact the buyer and perform the transaction. Some consultants have a helper reading the chat off screen, some have software that take care of it, but most people do it manually.
Don't forget, guys, to share and comment with that heart emoji to be entered into the drawing for Lula Cash tonight.
Lularoe was unique in their use of Facebook this way, and other MLMs have started to catch on. But selling Lularoe on Facebook is not how you make money. If you want to do that, you have to recruit. Lularoe is the most expensive MLM to join. They call the process onboarding, and you're presented with 3 options for a starter kit, ranging from $5,000 to $9,000. It's called front loading, and almost all MLMs work this way. You buy the starter kit or onboarding package, and then it's on you to sell it. The company's already made its money. But $5,000? Most MLM starter kits are around $100. All businesses have a startup cost. You have to spend money to make money. But these aren't venture capitalists. These are stay-at-home moms. Most people who join Lularoe use a credit card, putting them thousands in the hole before they even get started. You start off as a consultant. There's nobody underneath you, so the only way you can make money is by selling clothes. The average fashion consultant makes $85 a year. A year, which is immediately negated by the fact that in order to maintain your business status with Lularoe, you are required to purchase at least 33 items a month. And you don't get to choose the items. While looking at the starter kits, you might have noticed where it says classic tee 50 pieces or leggings one size 40 pieces. That means you're picking the style, but not the print. It's basically a loot box. You ordered a specific cut or style, but the prints and colors are totally random. A lot of it is ugly as sin. You think I picked this on purpose? In your random assortment, you are guaranteed a few high-value items, which they call unicorns, which I guess are shiny or foil cards in this analogy. Either way, a lot of consultants have taken to selling outfits rather than individual items, pairing unicorns with undesirable junk and selling them as a set. Adult leggings come in 3 sizes. One size, which isn't the only size, for people between size 2 and 10, tall and curvy for 12 to 18, and tall and curvy 2 for 18 plus. Here's where all of the men are gonna make a joke about, what about size 11? During live sales, they typically refer to these as OS, TC and TC2. The fact that they do these QVC-like sales one at a time like this means that for any pair of leggings they hold up, there is a very small chance that it fits you. When you refer one person, you move up to sponsor, where you start earning bonus checks that average around $7,000 a year on top of whatever you make from sales, which is negligible. 27% of all Lularoe members are at this rank, and they are required to purchase 175 pieces a month, which costs around $3,000. Once you've personally referred 3 people and have at least 10 people under you, you become a trainer. You'll make an average of $52,000 a year, but you'll also have to buy 250 pieces a month, and all of the people on your team must collectively buy 1,750 pieces a month. This is your team volume, and your personal purchases don't count towards that number. You would think making $52,000 a year would be great, but you're also spending at least $4,500 a month on product, which is $54,000 a year. You aren't even in the black for the year. This is how most people in an MLM lose money, even the apparently successful ones. Sure, they're making a lot, but they're also spending a lot. Lularoe consultants are encouraged to live a luxurious lifestyle with expensive purses, cars, houses, and vacations, whatever it takes to look successful, so other people will consider joining. They also have expensive conventions and retreats every other month to keep you spending, but more sinisterly, to keep you involved. You aren't going to quit if you've already paid for your flight and hotel to the coach's retreat next month. To become a coach, you need at least 3 trainers underneath you in separate branches. It's starting to get complicated, on top of the 250 personal volume and 1750 team volume. Lucky for you, you'll be earning an average of $226,000 a year, just like 0.61% of Lularoe. You might actually make a profit if you can keep the trips to Tahiti to a minimum. And lastly, the highest rank possible in Lularoe, the mentor. 3 trainers and 3 coaches in 6 different branches, along with the same requirements as coach. If you're a mentor, you are a millionaire. Congratulations. All 0.08% of you. A Lularoe mentor can have over 3,000 people in their downline. If you think that's complicated, Lularoe has the simplest rank structure of any MLM I researched, but the bonus structure is somewhat easy to follow. You earn 5% from your direct referrals, 3% from theirs, and 1% from theirs. It's important to note that that's how it works for everyone, so this person receives 5% from that person. It's also important to note that the rank structure doesn't directly follow the pyramid structure. It's technically possible to be a mentor under a sponsor because they don't have enough coaches in different branches, or they didn't have enough personal volume. So while you might be at the top of the rank pyramid, you might be on the 20th step of the referral pyramid. During their 2016 popularity boom, Lularoe was unable to keep up with demand and instead lowered quality. In 2017, multiple class action lawsuits were filed, many of which are ongoing. To get ahead of the FTC, Lularoe changed their bonus structure to resemble more of a legitimate pyramid scheme, emphasizing sales rather than recruiting. And that was basically the end of Lularoe. Since nobody would buy the tissue paper quality leggings, nobody was selling, so nobody was making money, so a mass exodus occurred. Lularoe still exists, but barely. Hey, you're fat. You know you're fat, and you know I know you're fat, because I'm fat, and I know I'm fat. Takes one to know one. But at least I'm doing something about it with Better Life. Better Life is a total nutrition program designed to get you the body you've always wanted. All it takes is 1 heaping tablespoon in the morning to start your day off right. Herbalife Nutrition was founded by Mark Hughes in 1980 as a nutrition, supplement, and weight loss company that primarily sells protein shakes. Over 30% of its business comes from this product alone. Since this is food, it has an expiration date, so if you don't sell it in time, it's worthless. Unlike Lularoe, which lasts until the first time you put it on. So while I can buy that from a going out of business sale where someone's just trying to cash out before donating it all to a thrift shop, I had to buy this from an actual distributor. So the question becomes, why would I buy this when I can buy this for basically the same price? And the answer is that I'm paying retail price. If I join Herbalife, I get a discount that starts at 25% and grows to 50% as I move up. Why pay retail when I could be paying wholesale? And that's what makes Herbalife unique. 80.2% of all Herbalife members join just for the discount for themselves. There are 2 ways to join Herbalife. Most people join as an at-home distributor, which is just like any other MLM. But you aren't required to sell anything, and you can keep the discount for yourself. You're basically just a customer. You aren't necessarily recruiting other distributors. You're recruiting other customers who will also front-load product they'll never sell. But the ultimate goal is to recruit more distributors. Herbalife has ranks as well. You start as a distributor, then move to senior consultant, then success builder, and then qualified producer, where your discount is 42%. Or you can skip this line entirely and open a nutrition club, where you join as a supervisor with an automatic 50% discount. A nutrition club is a physical storefront where you serve protein shakes and other Herbalife products to members who pay $5 a day. The initial startup cost is at least $5,000, and that's not including rent, utilities, and any food inspections or certifications you need, which can double the cost. Notice how I didn't say any advertising or signage? Because you aren't allowed to advertise your association with Herbalife or the fact that you exclusively sell their products outside of the club itself, which makes it somewhat difficult to attract customers or turn a profit for obvious reasons. I mean, would you go into a store with no signs or even a name, or just something incredibly generic? It almost seems like it's designed to fail, as most of these clubs do within the first year, saddling their owners with an average of $8,000 of debt. Herbalife's rank structure continues with the World Team, the Global Expansion or GET Team, which I know sounds a lot like saying ATM machine or HIV virus, but that's how they say it. And then there's the Millionaire Team, which, no, you're not a millionaire at this level. In fact, you're barely making six figures. You know, words either mean something or they don't. You can't just call it whatever. You may be wondering what these active ranks at the bottom are, and it's just a lateral promotion for any of you familiar with military ranks. They don't get anything special aside from the pin. The President's Team is the end goal. There are actually 11 sub-ranks in here that I'm going to ignore, but the Chairman's Club is a member of the President's Team who has 5 other President's Team members in their downline, and the Founder's Circle has 10. Only people in the GET Team and above earn production bonuses on their downline in what's known as the TAB Team. And now you understand why we deep dove into Lularoe's ranks instead, or we'd be here all day. Here's just a sample of what it takes to be a supervisor.
How to qualify. 4,000 volume points or VP in 1 month with at least 1,000 unencumbered volume, or 4,000 VP over 2 consecutive months with at least 1,000 unencumbered volume, or 4,000 VP in 3 to 12 months with at least 2,000 personally purchased volume. What you get: 50% potential retail profit, 8 to 25% wholesale profit, and up to 5% royalty overrides.
I promise that was English. How does that translate into actual money? Of the 69,000 Herbalife distributors in the US in 2015, 93.4% of them made less than minimum wage, and 72.6% of them made less than $1,000 that year. And that's just their revenue. When you factor in expenses, almost everyone loses money. These aren't people who just joined because they wanted some cheaper shakes. These are people with a downline trying to turn a profit. The top 0.3% makes all the money, averaging over $600,000 a year. The neat part about this chart is that you can see fewer than 1,000 Herbalife distributors are making middle-class wages. This is Herbalife's income disclosure statement. They're required to do it every year for every country, though they haven't in the US for the last few years. Because in 2016, Herbalife was investigated by the FTC in order to fundamentally restructure its business, since it was found to be on the illegal end of the pyramid spectrum. The FTC ordered that
the company will now differentiate between participants who join simply to buy products at a discount and those who join the business opportunity.
That's why in some of their newer Herbalife materials, the lowest rank is member rather than distributor.
At least 2/3 of rewards paid by Herbalife to distributors must be based on retail sales of Herbalife products that are tracked and verified. Company-wide, in order to pay compensation to distributors at current levels, at least 80% of Herbalife's product sales must be comprised of sales to legitimate end users.
And perhaps most importantly,
Herbalife is prohibited from allowing participants to incur the expenses associated with leasing or purchasing premises for nutrition clubs or other business locations before completing their first year as a distributor and completing a business training program.
They were also ordered to pay $200 million to reimburse former Herbalife distributors, especially those that started a club. Despite that, Herbalife is still growing. They're declining in the US. They peaked at 80,000 distributors a few years ago, but fell to just under 50,000 last year, a large portion of which are minorities. But they have been expanding globally, especially in developing countries for some reason. Hey, are you getting older? Of course you are. I can see it right now. It's like watching paint dry, but in fast forward. You starting to get lines on your forehead? Maybe your knees crack when you stand up? Yeah, that's what I thought. You need these pills from No Way. Just 2 a day is all you need to completely reverse aging. But that's not all. They've also been clinically proven to cure most cancers, balance your pH levels, stop snoring, and block blue light. What's in it? A unique proprietary blend of, it's deer placenta, but it's not like you can taste it. That's right, the freshest deer placenta on the I can't, this one's just too gross. This one is real. It's called Reway, and it really is made out of deer placenta. Can we pick one that's less disgusting, please? Right, so I just spoke to a Facebook friend I met once on a plane 5 years ago, and she told me I can get all of the stuff I was just talking about, but without the deer placenta. It's called Better Living Essential Oils, and just 1 drop on the bottom of your feet at night will fix everything that's wrong with you. Yes, even block blue light. So I got some tea tree oil. The ferrets love it. It's in their shampoo. It's oh, that's strong. So they say this one helps with acne and nail fungus, but I'm sure it has some blue light properties. Science doesn't know everything. Young Living Essential Oils blurs the line between MLM and religion. It was started in 1993 by D. Gary Young. The D stands for Donald, not doctor. Before selling essential oils, he practiced naturopathy in Mexico, where a reporter once submitted cat and chicken blood for clinical testing. Turns out they had cancer. No mention of them not being human though. Before that, he was convicted of practicing medicine without a license in the US. In fact, throughout his life, he opened and was forced to close at least 4 different clinics. But then he started Young Living. The name evokes images of living a healthy and youthful lifestyle forever. But no, it's just his name. Gary Young. When he was 24, he was paralyzed in a logging accident and cured himself using the products he would eventually sell. Where have I heard that one before? While they didn't invent the product, and they're certainly not the only ones, they are one of the largest sellers of essential oils, which sounds like a vital nutrient or mineral that your body needs to survive. But no, an essential oil is just the essence of the plant. What does that mean? Basically whatever you want it to. There is no... Look, I don't want to spend too much time debunking essential oils. When you boil it down, this is just a bottle of perfume. If tea tree oil did anything aside from just smell nice, we'd know by now. And if that's all you use the oils for, knock yourself out. It's like lighting a candle. Aside from smelling nice, aromatherapy is a real thing and can help with anything from depression to pain. But, it's not going to cure cancer. The people in Young Living see this as a panacea, a natural cure-all tonic handed down by God himself.
Being a Christian and reading the Bible, they talk about oils all the time. God created these things, these natural things for us to use that have these amazing benefits for our body. Why am I not using them?
Tea tree oil specifically is an insect repellent, underarm deodorant, antiseptic, hand sanitizer, mouthwash, and it treats acne, dandruff, nail fungus, and athlete's foot. If tea tree doesn't cure it, something else will. Young Living sells over 150 essential oils, some of them single and pure like this, while others are special blends, and each one does its own thing. If something's wrong with you or your pet, there's an oil for that.
Melrose. I told you guys Melrose was going to be in here. So this goes in my swimmer's ear blend.
It must be really inconvenient to have to boil some eyes of newt and summon an ender dragon every time you want to go swimming. They claim the oils cure everything from autism to night terrors to diabetes. But since this is just some mom doing an unboxing in her living room and not Young Living making these claims, the FDA can't really do anything about it. Young Living advises those who want to share their oils to avoid making any claims about treating or curing a disease, but instead talk about the structure or function of the body. So rather than treating insomnia, an oil can help with sleep. It can't cure the flu, but it can support a healthy immune system. I wasn't making up that bit about blue light, by the way.
It's called Illuminize. This is a whole food essential oil supplement that is specifically for eye health and protecting against blue light.
That's like taking a pill to prevent a sunburn. It doesn't work. told myself I wasn't gonna do this. Okay, just one last thing. In case you didn't buy that the non-existent active ingredients in essential oils did anything medicinal, they also apparently have a frequency.
Human body has a certain frequency that it stays between. It's like, don't quote me on this, 60 to 70, maybe 50 to 60, somewhere in there. And learning the frequencies of different oils, you don't have to have them exactly memorized, but just know which ones are low, which ones are kind of mid-range, and which ones are high can help you.
You use essential oils by diffusing it into the air, which is basically vaping an entire room, absorbing it through the skin, or ingesting it using the special Vitality line of oils. Looking at the ingredients list, there is no difference between lavender Vitality and just regular lavender. Thieves is by far the most popular blend and gets put in everything from cleaning products to toothpaste. Yes, they put essential oils in toothpaste. Young Living isn't just selling some nice smelling oils. It's a lifestyle that completely takes over. If you wanted, you could fill your entire house with Young Living products. I don't mean hoarding it in boxes in your garage, I mean replacing every other brand you currently buy, which is what a lot of them end up doing. Because just like Herbalife, you get a discount for joining. Unlike other MLMs, they aren't trying to sell a product to outsiders. The idea is to get more people to join and live the all-natural lifestyle. They don't even call it selling, they call it sharing.
Empowering you to love and share all the many benefits of Young Living with confidence and a clear conscience.
The religious and language aspects are somewhat unique to Young Living. Combined with everything else, it ticks enough boxes to be considered a cult. But don't worry, you're not obligated to join.
They think if you buy an essential oil kit with Young Living, you are committed to a monthly order. You have to spend money every month. That is just not the case.
You can buy the starter kit. That doesn't mean you're like part of a business and you have to sell things now. You never have to sell anything or buy anything ever again.
So you can cancel Essential Rewards at any time, you guys.
Well, not if you want to keep that 30% discount, you can't. Essential Rewards is Young Living's monthly auto shipment program. You get a discount, but you're required to spend at least $50 a month. In exchange, you also get points and free promo items. Look, for spending $300 this month, she got a branded mason jar. And how? Young Living also has a complicated rank and commission structure, beginning with members and stars, going through silver and gold, and ending with Royal Crown Diamonds, with commissions paying for 8 steps down your downline. Though all of this might change soon since Young Living was served with a class action lawsuit in April 2019. They might have to restructure their payment and referral systems just like Lularoe and Herbalife. Most people don't join Young Living looking to make a business out of it. They're looking for that natural lifestyle. All multi-level marketing companies share that characteristic. They may differ in a few areas here and there, but in the end, they're all selling a lifestyle. The product is secondary and almost meaningless. You are a customer of the MLM and you're tasked with recruiting other customers, to the exclusion of anything else. There's a reason people in MLMs are referred to as Huns or Hunbots. Everything is about the MLM and getting more people to join the MLM. Anyone who doesn't support you is a hater. They're not approving of your entrepreneurial boss babe dream, and you don't need that kind of negativity in your life. Even if they're family, the MLM is your family, your friends, and your job. Some MLMs even encourage your spouse to quit their job to help you. So they're also dependent on the MLM. That's why there are so many couples retreats. Homeschool is also very popular among MLM families. What's the point in working from home if your kids aren't going to be there with you all the time? Further growing the pyramid. And that's really what it comes down to. You are either crushed by the pyramid or you are crushing others as part of the pyramid. Even the perpetrators are victims. They're told that if they aren't successful and aren't making money, it's because they are doing something wrong. MLMs are capitalism on steroids. We often hear about the top 1% reaping all of the benefits of our economy. Well, in an MLM, it's the top 0.3% or 0.08%. You can make it if you just work hard enough and market your business properly, a skill you can learn by going to skl.sh/knowingbetter11. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of courses taught by mentors in their upline. Take this course in social media marketing, learning how to create the perfect profile and gain more followers since none of your friends from summer camp will answer your messages anymore. Or this course in social media strategy, strategy, where you can learn how to make the right content and even optimize for Facebook. How else are you going to tell people about this amazing journey that you can't wait to share? You can learn this and much more with an annual subscription costing less than $10 a month. And if you head over to skl.sh/knowingbetter11, you can get 2 months of unlimited access to all of Skillshare's courses for free. You'll also be supporting the channel when you do, but I don't get a commission. You don't have to recruit anyone. This isn't a pyramid scheme. Now, I know we haven't spoken since that one math class we had in college 5 years ago, but I was just thinking about how you would be perfect for this business opportunity I'm part of. It's called YouTube, and odds are you're already a member. If you're just starting out, you're a graphite, but once you get 1,000 people under you, you become an opal, which is when you're eligible to start earning commissions, or what we call in the biz, ad rev. Now, I've been doing this for a while, so I'm a silver tier creator, but I am working my way up to gold, and you can help by hitting the subscribe button to join my downline. It's free and you can cancel at any time, you guys. But for those of you who are committed to helping small business owners like me, there's a special program we call Patreon. We have colored tiers and ranks there too. Trust me when I say this is the easiest job in the world. I just make videos, put them online, and earn a passive income. I don't even have to leave the house. Now, none of you mentioned this in my last video, but you might have noticed I have a new couch. It's actually a futon from Walmart, but that is an IKEA bookshelf. Now, I've only owned 3 IKEA bookshelves in my entire life, 2 of which are right now. That's how good things are going for me. And that's how good things could be going for you, if only you had the ambition and you knew better. I'd like to thank Ben and Peter for being the latest golden forks to join my downline. Special thank you to Josh for being the first person to join this amazing journey with me. Sorry this video took a little longer, as you can imagine it was a large project, so thank you for being patient and sticking around to listen to the end.